Welcome to Sports Close-Up. Mike Fiorillo, special co-host this week, Ed Marin. Ed, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Great show today. We're going to talk about area wrestlers and their coaches who went to the States this year, made it to States, did well. We're starting our show with the Cash Group, Rob Shea. Rob, thanks for coming on, assistant coach.
Yes, thanks.
And Peyton Hearn. Peyton, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Rob, why don't you give us a little background about yourself first? Tell us when you wrestled and where and how you got into coaching.
Yeah, I wrestled for Meadville. I graduated in 2000. I was lucky enough to be on a team.
2000?
Yeah, I graduated in 2000.
Making me feel real old.
My sophomore year, we went undefeated. We were 14-0 and made the team duels. We did very well. I was lucky to be a part of when the Heist boys were there, and Brian Setta, Ryan Haynes. We just had a really good team. Actually, all of our starters except for 3 were sophomores that year. And then I coached with Jim Beach at Cambridge Springs for a year. I was going to move to Conneaut. We decided to buy a different house, or actually we're renting in Meadville, and I ended up coaching at Cash because we thought we were moving there, and it's just been a phenomenal experience ever since I've been there. It's Carmen Russo took the program over 5 years ago, and it's just been getting better every year since we started that. So
You wrestled at Meadville, you said, and you wrestled for the great legendary coach who really built a powerhouse in Meadville, Dick Lumley.
Yes, Dick Lumley was awesome to wrestle for. It's just a whole different. You can't coach how they used to coach then. Dick Lumley was the guy. I mean, you knew not to mess with Dick Lumley or something bad might happen to you. You know, he was real strict, but definitely one of the best guys I was ever coached under.
And we want to give a shout out to Coach Lumley, who's not doing well as we tape this show, and we wish him the best. Peyton, how long have you been wrestling?
I think 11 years.
Wow. So you started what age?
5.
5. What made you start at 5 being a wrestler? How does that happen?
Well, my cousins wrestled before me, Steven Saramuga and Brian Hooks. And
At Cash?
At Common Prairie.
Okay.
And I kind of grew up watching them and ended up in it. So, yeah.
And what makes you love the sport so much? The competition, the one-on-one?
Yeah, I definitely love the one-on-one, knowing it's kind of all on your back.
Who was your toughest opponent?
This year,
Well, this year, last year, the year before, who's the one that really, gets you going out on the mat? Who's the best one that you went against?
probably Luciano DeRose from Titusville. We got to wrestle back-to-back weeks at sections and districts, and he got me the first week 9-3, and then at districts I ended up beating him.
So he brings the best out of you, doesn't he?
Yeah, definitely.
That's good.
You know, a wrestler isn't like yourself. You started at the age 5, and a lot of the other young men we're going to interview today started young. You start so young that it becomes like a family because you wrestle all these other kids from different areas, but you see the growth in yourself and them also, right? So when you finally make it to the lower, maybe the 9th or 10th grade level, you're actually seeing kids you've seen for 7 or 8 years wrestle.
Yeah, definitely like a very close group. Kind of what I love about wrestling is just like, even if you're from different schools, like you all know each other and a lot of new friends and stuff.
So when you went down the States, do you watch the other matches? Did you watch the Cambridge Springs guys wrestle? Did you watch the Sagertown guys wrestle? You guys all cheering for each other because you're the same area?
Definitely the District 10 guys had my vote.
Yeah. And Coach, what makes him a very good wrestler?
His work ethic. I mean, Peyton, this year I always preach to these kids that you want to take you from good to great, you have to start believing that you can beat the kids that you're not supposed to beat. And Peyton proved that, he believed that he could beat the kids on paper he wasn't supposed to beat. It happened not only at the state tournament, but at districts as well. His work ethic is second to none. He was the only kid. Everybody would go to the showers, and Peyton's in there every day grinding, doing extra cardio in the cardio room, working out. We had an unfortunate thing last year. He was misdiagnosed with a hernia, so he wasn't able to compete at districts. The year before that, there was a controversial call with an official on back points that caused him not to make it to states, and he said, I'm not going to be that guy that goes 3-4 years and gets that close to not make it. And he just put in all the work. I mean, his work ethic, like I said, was second to none, and it worked out for him.
And that work ethic's just going to take him through life.
Right, absolutely.
You just did it all through since you were 5th grade or 5 years old, all the way up, and it's just going to carry throughout. That's a good thing to have right there.
All right, Peyton, let me go back here and reset what Coach just said. So 2 years ago, you lost on a controversial call. Where was that at?
Regional blood round.
Do you remember that like it was yesterday? Does it still bother you when you think about it?
Well, not after this weekend.
Good. That's a good thing. So you're able to let it go. What about last year? Coach says that you were misdiagnosed.
Yeah.
What happened, and how did you get diagnosed correctly after that. And how long did it take?
Well, I went the week of districts. I went to the doctor's office because I was having some pain, and he told me that he thought it was like a hernia, and I shouldn't compete because I could have like surgery right there, have to get it right there on the spot. So I was kind of devastated, but I went with it. And then when I went for the pre-surgery appointment, they said they just couldn't find what he was, I guess, feeling or saw. So they just kind of from there just went into my baseball.
All right, so you didn't have the hernia, and then you were okay all of a sudden? You didn't have any more pain, or did they find out what the problem was and, treat you for that? How'd that go?
Didn't they say it was an abdominal strain?
Okay, so it was an abdominal strain, and were you a little ticked off there?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He was heartbroken for sure.
So you just took it out on everybody this year.
Right. Right.
They did it.
Right.
And that's what I want to get at. So you had 2 years in a row where you had some tough things happen, and then you can make a choice, can't you? You can feel sorry for yourself. You can say, guess it's not meant to be. You can make all kind of excuses, correct? And right, Coach?
Yeah,
or
absolutely.
you can say, I'm not doing this because, or you can come back with a vengeance and say, you know what? My goal is to kick butt this year and get the states and do the best I can because I got robbed 2 years ago and last year I got misdiagnosed. Was that your mentality this year?
Right. Any time that like I was in practice or like a Sunday morning run and I was getting down or tired on myself, that's the first thing I thought about to keep pushing through.
Tell us about your state matches. How'd they go? I know you came in 6th place, but did they go as well as you expected them to, or were you upset the way you wrestled?
Well, I was very happy with the finish, just being on the medal stand. But my first match Thursday night, I ended up losing 7-0, which is like the worst I lost all year long, and kind of lost a little bit of confidence. But through the consi rounds, kind of gained it back each match at a time. I'm definitely excited with the medal finish, though.
Coach, what do you guys do when you see a wrestler experience that he loses the first state? And it's the first time you've been in states also, you lose your first match, you get shut out. You realize his confidence is down, he's not feeling good about himself. How do you guys get to him to try to turn
Right.
it
Well,
around?
we definitely, Peyton has, we always worry about him on his first match. After he gets that rust off, he's one of those kids, we get that rust off and he always bounces back. But, we talked to him, we went over tape, we went over a lot of tape. We knew who his next matches were. We looked up videos, we watched what their style, what it was like. And we talked to him and we, I would say probably an hour in the hotel room, went over, maybe even an hour and a half, went over things that we need to look out for, things we need to do. We were actually drilling with him in the hotel room, and it paid off for him. We knew the styles that we were up against in his next couple matches, and the kid that he actually beat 5-1, this Anklin guy, we were actually expecting on seeing him in the second round of the winners bracket, but they both got upset and they ended up wrestling, and we knew that if he got past that one, he was going to make it to the blood rounds and most likely qualify. So we just game planned, went to the hotel room, did a lot of video, and it worked out for him. And when we just build his confidence and let him know, keep believing in yourself.
What did you call that there, Coach? The what round?
The blood round is the round that you got that gets you in. The blood round's the round where if you win that round, that gets you into place. So
Sort of like where if you lose, you're done?
if you lose, you're done, right? So and we knew that the blood round match for him was going to, I don't want to say easy, but easier than the kid he had before that. So we were really hoping we get past that guy, and that's the guy we probably studied video on for at least 45 minutes.
Is that the official name, or is that a name
No,
Coach
it's blood round, yeah, it's the blood round.
I kind of like that. That's pretty cool. I never knew that before.
Right.
All right, so Peyton, you're a junior. What's your goal next year?
Obviously, be on top.
So how do you get there? What do you have to do?
Work harder than I did this year.
What's he have to do, Coach? Is he going to be one of the favorites to get the states, obviously?
I mean, I don't want to jump the gun, but I wouldn't be surprised to see this kid in the state finals or at least place in top 4 next year. His work ethic, like I said, and I know he's hungry and motivated, and the sky's the limit for him. If he works any little bit harder than what he did this year, I don't see how he couldn't be in the state finals, and I know how bad he wants it, so.
Peyton, was the state experienced everything you thought it would be? All the wrestlers and all the pomp and circumstances and the crowds and so forth?
It was even better than I thought. Just being surrounded by a bunch of guys who have the same love for the sport, and having all these people support and all this screaming and yelling.
Yeah, it sure is. And in Western Pennsylvania, wrestling is pretty big here. But you have some states like Iowa and some stuff is even more popular than you could say hockey or basketball would be. I mean, they fill their high school stadiums for a wrestling match. But here it's not bad. You get, and I want to compliment Armstrong and two people in particular, Dave Carr and Lon Wilson, for covering matches locally so to get you guys on TV a little bit too. And you guys watch those? Do you guys watch the?
Oh, yeah.
And they get excited, don't they, calling those?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. How is wrestling perceived at your high school?
My freshman year when we all my group started, it wasn't like, not everyone really followed it or anything, but as our team kind of had more success the past couple of years, we've got more and more people in the gym and more people following us and yelling for us and everything.
And that's a big thing, and that's important. Ed, anything you want to add?
No.
Peyton and Coach, want to thank both of you for coming on, and we're going to come back with the Cambridge duel, their coach and their wrestler, right after this. Back with the Cambridge group, we have the coach, Jim Beach. Coach, thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
And Ty Bardell, right? Yep. Ty, thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
All right, Coach, give us a little background about yourself, where you wrestled, how long did you wrestle, and how you got into coaching.
I wrestled in high school at Northeast. I graduated in '04 under Jason Locke, and kind of got into coaching just from missing it in college. My roommate and I, we used to go to the district tournament, go to Sharon for the regional tournament, and just wanted to get back into it once I got out.
And what did you wrestle when you wrestled? What?
At Northeast, I'm a little bit bigger. I was 189 before they changed the weight classes, but I wasn't nearly as good as these guys.
And what did you enjoy about wrestling when you wrestled back in the day?
I like that it's a one-on-one sport. It's all you. There's nobody else to blame.
Yeah.
You know, there's no excuses. You can't blame teammates. You can't expect somebody else to do something for you. To do it yourself.
Yeah.
I just think that it's a hard-working sport. That's things that you can take into life further on into your job.
And tell us about, first of all, we wanted Clay to be here, but he couldn't make it today. We have a snowstorm today, and I guess Clay's kind of snowed in. Why don't you tell us about Clay, and since he couldn't be here, and he's a senior, and how he did his senior year.
Yeah, Clay's a senior. This was his second state tournament, his second state medal. And that's in his whole life. He never made the youth state tournament or the junior high state tournament, any of that stuff. He ended up 38-8 on the year, and he got fourth last year. And I think a lot of people, especially locally, kind of thought it was a fluke. He got third at sections and ended up getting fourth in the state. And I mean, he legitimately lost at sections too. It wasn't like a big upset, no blaming any refs or anything like that. But he came back this year, and we kind of kept poking him about it being a fluke and just trying to get him fired up. And came back this year, and he lost in the quarterfinals, and he won four straight matches in a row, which showed a lot of fortitude mentally.
And got third place.
Got third this year.
And that last match I heard was something else to see.
Yeah, he had scored on first, so we were down and kind of went back and forth. He ended up winning 9-6, which is a lot of points for Clay. People know Clay.
And then that's Clay Verbanek, right?
Yep.
And then the young man next to you, Ty. Tell us about him and what makes him a special wrestler. He's only a junior.
Only a junior. This is Ty's second trip to States. His first one didn't end the way we wanted it to. But we learned our lessons, and we knew we couldn't do the same things that we did before. He's an extremely hard worker. He's in the room all the time. I was just joking with some of the other coaches that we've been practicing at least once a week since like August of 2012. So I mean, we have a lot of time invested in this thing. But same thing, we only have 3 Northwest Region champs in our entire school history, and 2 of them are Ty, one of them's Clay. They account for half of the District 10 championships in school history. So I mean, these 2 kids have kind of helped be the face of turning the program around.
You know, it's interesting you brought that up, and Ty, we're going to get to you in a minute, but when I think of Cambridge Springs, and I've been in this area since 71 when I went to college, and 75 when I started teaching, I think of basketball. You know,
I
mean,
think
they got a
everybody
big
does.
history of basketball. So are you guys trying to turn it around to let people know, hey, we wrestled down here too, and we're pretty good?
Yeah, the basketball team is very good. It still is.
Mm-hmm.
But we've got our own cult following that we're trying to build here. You know, we can't affect the basketball team by any means, and appreciate their success and what they bring to the school. But like I said, we've got our own little cult following that we're building.
Does it help your AD was a wrestler?
I think so.
And at Cambridge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I hope so.
Ty, tell us about yourself. How old were you when you started wrestling?
I was about 4 when I started wrestling. I mean, sort of, I guess. My dad was a youth coach at the time, and so I was just in the room, rolling around a little bit and just getting familiar with the sport.
Do you have people in your family that also wrestled?
Yeah, my dad did, and then he has, I don't know, 3 or 4 other brothers that all wrestled, and so everyone wrestled on his side of the family.
Where'd they wrestle at?
Cambridge Rings.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
it's a little bit of history there.
Yeah.
So when you're wrestling and when you started to wrestle, how does your dad react in the stands?
I mean,
Does he live through? I mean, does he live it as you're going? 'Cause it's tough for a parent.
oh yeah, he's right on the edge of the mat. He's almost wrestling with me out there. Doing the moves before I am. But I think he enjoys watching it, and so with my mom, and they get into it. But it's nice having them out there.
How does it like when you get home that you and your dad sit down and you guys go over certain things and maybe gives you a few pointers?
Sometimes he does. I don't know. He doesn't. He lets the coaches coach. I mean, he's never. I've played football and baseball and everything, and he's been a coach for all those for me, but he's never been my wrestling coach. And I mean, he knows a lot of wrestling.
Sure.
He does. He tells me stuff to do, but he likes to just let the coaches do their stuff and let me kind of breathe at home.
That's good.
So would you say you're better than your dad when he was your age?
I don't know. I mean, he always jokes around. It was tougher back then. So I don't know. I think I could beat him now, though.
Oh, we might have a little match going here, huh?
We should have one of those, the dads against the kids matches, We could have
Don't hurt him too bad.
Cody
Yeah,
and,
right.
and Coach Jim from Stagger Down doing it too.
No thanks.
So what do you like about wrestling? First of all, let's be honest. To wrestle, number one, you can't hide when you're out there.
Right.
Other sports you can hide when you make a mistake. It's you against your opponent and everybody's watching. Number two, some people have to lose weight. Did you ever have to lose weight?
I've had to lose my fair share of
So when
weight.
your friends are having milkshakes and cheeseburgers and Doritos and Twinkies,
You just don't hang out with him that
Right,
day.
yeah. I just kind of, I don't know.
you have to have a certain discipline to be a wrestler, don't you?
Right, yeah. I mean, going to the wire, going to practice, in sweats and whatever, and doing whatever you can to lose weight. It's tough, but I don't know. It's just what's your mental drive? How good do you want to be? Do you need that milkshake? Do you need that bag of Doritos right now, or do you want to be the best you can be?
Have you ever had it where you had to go to the hotel and actually start running in the hallways just to lose weight?
Yeah, I've done that quite a few times.
You don't even get to enjoy the hotel room. huh?
Right.
Yeah, and that's true, and that's what happens to a lot of wrestlers. At Cambridge, you guys have your own little room you practice in, Coach? Because I know the gym's usually taken up with girls and boys basketball during.
Yeah, we have a room right off the back of the gym.
Is it just a wrestling room? So it's a
Yep.
pretty nice thing for your
Wrestling
team.
only.
That's pretty
Mats
cool.
stay down all year round.
That's nice. How much time do you put in as a coach? I know what you do, but for the people out there, to think that a coach just shows up to match and maybe a couple practices and that's it. Tell people out there how much
Yeah.
time you put in.
We have 4 guys on my coaching staff: Dalton Lester, Matt Humes, Hunter Cox. They have all either wrestled for me or wrestled in college.
And that's nice.
Yeah, they wrestle a lot with the kids too. But I mean, there's a lot of time. Like I said, we've been practicing at least once a week, more than that, typically for 6 years now. Regular weeknight stuff, we practice from 5 to 7 because all the guys have jobs. None of us are teachers, which is kind of uncommon, I think. But there's film study, there's conditioning, there's a lot of extra stuff. I mean, I probably do more wrestling stuff than I do in my regular job, if not even. And I've got 2 little kids, so
How old are your kids?
2 and 4. And they're in bed by 8 and practice is over at 7.
So you have a boy and a girl, 2 girls,
2 boys.
2 boys. Are they going to wrestle someday, or
Probably. My 2-year-old's pretty mean.
so you're going to be bringing them down to practice when they get older, right? 5 or 6, they can maybe go to practice a little bit or something.
Eventually, trying to keep them away a little bit longer.
Yeah. 5 to 7 is practice. How does that affect you as a student and as an athlete? You go home and come back, or how does that
Right,
work?
yeah, I come home or go home then come back. So weight management's a big thing, and Coach Veach always talks about try to get a meal in before so you know your actual weight when you walk in the room. So I try to do that, and if I'm heavy, then I'll run before practice or whatever I have to do. So it's not really that big of a deal. Kind of check in at home, do whatever you got to do, and then go to practice.
Any other sports?
I play football.
You play football too
Yeah.
in Cambridge? So is your weight different during football than it is during wrestling?
Oh yeah, it's definitely different.
So when he says to get a meal, what are you eating during a wrestling season? Like, do you eat, like, I don't know, what do you eat during wrestling?
My mom tries to cook a lot of like meats, like steak and chicken and stuff like that. Just trying to drink
Well,
a lot
that's
of
not
chocolate
bad.
milk.
No
Yeah,
cottage
no.
cheese?
No, not for me.
Man, that sounds good.
Steak and chicken.
Yeah.
That's all right. So, Coach, you go over nutrition with your athletes then?
Yeah, we work on a lot of that stuff. It's really important. Not everyone's cutting weight by any means, but the
Sure.
ones who are, you really have to be smart. High school kids, they think that if they eat a Snickers bar, they instantly gain just what the Snicker bar weighs, and they don't realize the effect it has on their body down the road.
Adults don't either, big head. So, what do you guys tell the wrestlers? Do you guys have like, you guys give them a handout of what they should eat or encourage them to eat, or?
We haven't, not lately, we haven't had to go that far. There's, like I said, there's certain kids that need help, and there's certain kids who don't. And then we go over specific things. We usually, on the way to tournaments, we're able to pick the food, so we're able to help that way. And then usually, we're not really big onto it until there's a problem or we see a problem arising, try to do some proactive stuff.
Now, Cambridge is in Pencrest, obviously. Second time we're going to talk to later is in Pencrest. Maple is in Pencrest. When you guys wrestle each other, is that like a big thing? Who beats who? Let me ask Ty first. Is it,
I mean, I don't know. It's not a big thing. We've all grown up wrestling each other, and we like to try to compete against each other. But when it comes down to it, we're all trying to win at states. So I don't really know if it's that big of a deal to beat someone from your same district.
let me ask you this. When you go down to States, Coach, you guys go together? So you're being in one district, or you go separately?
No, we've gone separately. We've traveled with General McLean the last couple of years. We practice at Clarion on the way down, which is nice.
Okay.
But no, it's pretty separate. We just have our two kids, and we kind of do our own thing.
But when the matches are taking place, you guys kind of watch all the wrestlers from D10 and cheer them on and so forth. Like Peyton said earlier, you guys are all rooting for D10 wrestlers.
Yeah, for sure.
How many were down there this year for D10? There was a lot.
Yeah, there was. Right, you had some from Meadville, you had some from McLean, probably had a couple, I'd imagine. You had a lot of them down from D10.
Yeah, not just at AA. I think there would be 38, 40 kids
Yeah.
almost.
Yeah, I know Jamestown had one that did well. Ty, tell us about your state experience this year.
This year, a lot better than last year. I went last year, got used to it, won a match, but then this year was like, okay, now I need to go down there and place and get focused. So I won my first match, then I won my second match, and then I don't know, it was in the state semis, it's kind of a surreal feeling, you're just in there and trying to soak it up. Didn't go too well, but it was a fun experience, and then I wrestled through the wrestlebacks and ended up taking 4, so it was fun.
That's pretty, awesome job you did, though, Ty. You had to go through the wrestlebacks, too, which is not an easy thing to accomplish as a coach.
No, and like you said, we were there last year, and both our kids, same two weights, won their first match. It was kind of like deja vu, and things didn't fall apart last year to the second day. Ty actually had a kid that pinned him earlier in the year, so it was kind of a big win, and we were really able to control it and go that way. But a lot of times in wrestling, you get in trouble when you start thinking about what the other guy's going to do. I know other coaches talk about watching film and stuff like that, but we watch it. We don't let them watch it, because when you don't focus on your own stuff, it's easy to get distracted. The semifinal match just got away from us, and I'm not mad about it at all. It's another good experience, especially when you don't graduate. So, but yeah, we were able to, again, mental fortitude, Clay, to win 4 in a row.
Yeah.
To get back to that third place match.
Yeah.
Ty dropped down and could easily felt bad for himself, but kept winning after that too.
So it probably means a lot for your program when you have 2 of your wrestlers up on the podium getting awards. Getting
Yeah, it's
medals.
big. It's
Yeah.
big. We've got 6 medals in 4 years. This
Wow.
year we were 15th. It's the highest we've ever finished. The last 3 years have been the 3 highest we've ever finished ever.
So you have a little program,
Yeah, we've got
This is
youth
important.
and
Yeah.
novice, junior high, the whole way up.
and that's important, too. Do you ever go down and talk to the little kids or bring your medal with you and say, hey, you can have this someday?
Yeah, they invited me to their banquet this year to show my medal, and I'm down there, just trying to
Yeah.
help them out and talk to them a little bit, just get them interested in the sport even more than they are.
What's your goal for next year?
Definitely be a state champ, just work hard and be a state champ.
And that's going to be an awesome goal for him, too, to try to get to, Coach.
Yeah, I'm excited. A lot more hard work, but it's
Oh, yeah.
definitely within reach.
And what do you want to do after high school?
I'm not sure yet. I'm going to the VOTEC school for diesel technology, and then, but,
Nice.
I'm definitely considering college and I don't know where yet or what I'm gonna go for or anything, but we'll see how it goes.
Nothing wrong with learning a trade either. You can make a lot of money being in the trades these days too.
Right,
So
yeah.
I wouldn't know what to look at as far as a diesel. Any item shouldn't, be honest with you. All right, guys, thanks for coming on, and we wish you all the luck in the world next year, and we'll be back with a couple more wrestlers and coach. And we're back with Coach Jim Mulligan of the Sagertown Panthers, and to his right, his son Cody. Cody, thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Coach, thanks for coming on. And to his right is Kenny Kaiser. Thanks for coming on. Cody, I didn't announce your last name, but by now everybody knows who you are. And you know, from Armstrong and all of Crawford County, Cody, we're going to start by just congratulating you on winning states 2 years in a row, being the first Crawford County wrestler ever to accomplish that goal. And that's from whenever they started states. And here we are 2018, so you must be so proud of the accomplishments you were able to obtain.
Oh yeah, thank you. It's crazy to be a first one. So
Yeah, and it's awesome. So, you know, Dad, you and I have talked before. We had you on before, and you and I have talked off the air also. Son's something else, isn't he? He's a hard worker, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. I'm pumped.
And you should be. So why don't you tell us what else is, in time this show is aired, it'll be going on that day, but even so, we want you to announce another great honor that came his way.
Cody was, after winning the state title, he was invited to compete in the Pittsburgh Wrestling Classic, which used to be called the Dapper Dan, which they take the best seniors in AA and AAA in the state of Pennsylvania, and we assemble a team. Then we wrestle the USA All-Star team, which there's kids from Arizona, there's kids from Texas. It's a really formidable team. Cody will be competing against Jack Jensen from Illinois. He's a 3-time state champ, 3-time Fargo freestyle champ. He will be attending Northwestern University on a full scholarship. But what's kind of neat, he's ranked 2 in the country. We wrestled him in April. Cody was competing for Young Guns Wrestling Club down in Virginia Beach. I was back home coaching softball. My wife took him. And he, in the semifinals down at Virginia Beach, it's the biggest dual meet tournament in the country. Cody wrestled him, and it was a great match. It was 1-1 late, and Cody got a takedown to beat him 3-1. So it's nice. I'm already looking at the film. He doesn't look at film.
Right.
I look at film for him. He doesn't like to look at it. So it's a great honor. He's the first Sagertown kid to do it. We're pumped. So next weekend we'll be going down for the whole weekend. It's called the Super Bowl of high school wrestling.
Yeah,
Will they
it is.
televise this?
It will be televised.
When will that be? Do you know?
It'll be live on Flow Wrestling.
You know, I can't remember the last time District 10 had a wrestler in there. I know Meadville back in the day had some, but I don't remember how long it's been since District 10's had a wrestler in this area.
It's been a while.
It's been a while,
From actually, I think Steve Spearman from Erie, McDowell is the last kid to compete in it.
Right, and that's, you know, down in the area. I just mean this area right here has been a long time. I know Meadville had a couple back in the 80s, but
Oh yeah.
been a long time since
It has been
Yeah,
a long
so-
time. It's neat. Cole Matthews is on the team from Reynolds too.
Okay.
And Cody's friends
Nice.
with Cole. We have a good relationship with the Reynolds guys. They beat us all the time, team wise. But we individually we get them quite often individually.
Reynolds had a great wrestling program. For
They won again.
years.
They won again
I
this
know,
year. They
for
won the dual
years.
meet and
It's
they won
almost
the
like
individual championship.
it's almost like before the year starts, like they're going to win again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you get Pennsylvania uniforms, or do you wear?
Oh no, they give you brand new uniforms. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
We'll go down Friday night, stay Saturday. We meet all the USA
Mm-hmm.
All-Star team. We tour Pittsburgh. Everything's paid for. We then we'll practice Saturday afternoon with the USA All-Star team.
Wow.
There's a team from Iowa coming, which wrestles the Pittsburgh, the Whippeal program.
Mm-hmm.
But we all weigh in at 6 o'clock.
Where's this at?
We get it would be at Pittsburgh Pitt University.
Okay.
But I forget the hotel we're staying at. The hotel's a little ways away. But we all weigh in at 6 o'clock, all the teams together. Cody, it weighs 182. He gets 5 pounds, so he has to weigh 187. Then they have there's a big dinner. and it's
Sure.
a buffet dinner, so it's great. It's friendly to the kids. We're all going to be watching our weight a little bit, but they allow us to make weight Saturday night. Then we don't compete till Sunday at 6.
Which was a great thing, and to go along with that too, what an honor that is, but also you get to meet other kids from different part of the state, I'm sure too, that you'll be meeting and talking about where this kid's going to school, where you're going to school, and your experiences. And does the whole family get to go, or just you and Cody?
Just Cody and I have one of my coaches now, but our whole family's going to come down later Sunday.
Nice.
Yeah, we'll have a big following.
So it'll all be
Cody has
there.
a huge following. I mean, he really does. I have a big family. My wife's side of the family. He has a great support system in place right now.
Isn't that great?
It's awesome.
It's awesome.
Makes it all that much better.
Talk about the young buckaroo down here. We'll get back to Cody. Kenny down there. Tell us, he's only a sophomore.
Sophomore.
And you told me, I said I wanted Kenny to be part of this, and I know, Kenny, you went down the stage and you didn't medal, but tell me what you think about him, what you told me over the phone, if you remember.
He'll be on top of the podium next year. There's no doubt in my mind. Kenny could have made the state finals freshman year and sophomore year. The kid he lost to last year in the quarterfinals made the state finals. This year he ran into Gavin Teasdale second round, who was a 4-time state champ, and Kenny wrestled him extremely well, pulled him all over the mat. It was a great match. Then Kenny got beat right in the last seconds again by the same kid who beat him last year to put him out of the tournament, and it was gut wrenching. I mean, no other way to put it. It was gut wrenching. They're two of the worst losses that I've felt downstate since 2003. Was my first time in the corner with Jason Manroth. It was gut wrenching. But I know it's hard on his dad. It's hard on his family. It was hard on our program. But like Coach Flynn says up at Edinboro, Kenny is a college wrestler, and you know what? We just got to fix just a couple things, a little more confidence out there. We need to scramble a little bit better. Like I told him, with Cody being in Edinboro, there's going to be somebody, my eyes are going to be on him every day. And I just know we're going to be on the top of the podium.
Kenny, when you hear that from your coach, and does it make the loss lessen a little bit, knowing that you got time to come back and get to where you want to be?
Yeah, it hurt for a while, but hearing
I think
Coach
that's why
say
you're a good
stuff-
athlete, though. So let me interrupt you, because I always felt when I played sports and when I coached back in the day, if losing doesn't hurt, you don't get better. If you just say, "Oh, we lost, who cares?" Whatever. That type of thinking you never get. As a student or whatever you want to do in life, you have to hurt a little bit and achieve. So I'm glad you said that. So tell me your plans for next year.
I'm just gonna train, and train. Gotta work hard every day. There isn't much more you can do.
When you see a teammate like Cody, what he accomplished last 2 years, that give you some inspiration?
Yeah. It lets me see what I could be if I put in as much work as he has.
And how long have you been wrestling?
Since in kindergarten.
Since kindergarten?
Yeah.
And why'd you get involved?
I don't know. I don't know.
You just started wrestling and you're not sure how you got involved, but you just kept at it. Why'd you keep at it?
Because it was fun. I had friends, and it was the only sport that I actually really enjoyed when I was younger, so kept it with it.
What do you enjoy about it?
The one-on-one, it's me and my opponent, so I don't have to worry about my teammates, or I can rely on myself. And if I don't win, it's my fault. It wasn't like I can blame someone else.
How do you do in school?
Well,
Yeah. What's your favorite class?
history or science. It's like,
Oh, history. Good. I used to teach history. That's a smart move right there.
I thought he was going to say gym class. But that's what I would have said. I don't have gym class this year, so I couldn't.
That's good. So, Cody, your favorite is gym class?
Oh, for sure.
For
Or
sure.
lunch.
Tell us about what you're doing next year.
Going to Edinboro with Coach Flynn and Coach Moore up there. So they offered me a full scholarship. So going up there, wrestle, and major in criminal justice, and exciting.
So you're really excited about Edinboro then?
Yeah,
That's
I like
good.
them.
Did you go up there for the summer camps and that too?
Yeah, we went up there as a team, wrestled up there with all the guys, and I already practiced with the team a lot, so I already feel part of the team, and it's just nice having that local program that's so good around here.
Yeah, it's a
and
good program up there.
it's they can compete with anybody in the country, so it's just nice having them around. So.
Well, congratulations on that.
Thank
Well,
you.
they're D1 in wrestling.
Yeah.
And of course, their AD might have something to do with that. I don't know.
boy.
I'm just throwing it out there. He's Olympic champ, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I
nice having them.
got a chance to interview him a few times and talk to him. He's a great guy, and their coach is a good person. So you go into a real good program. It's also close by, Coach. That's got to make you and your family happy. You get to see them.
It is. We visited NC State. We have some ties at Iowa. Ohio State was starting to get interested in them. Bucknell, all the regulars. Lehigh was really hot to trot after them. So I wanted to visit some spots, and but at the end of the day, like when we went up there for our visit, Coach Flynn don't say much. They want you. These colleges want you to want to go there.
Right.
If you don't show interest in them, they're not going to really show an interest in you. So Coach Flynn, it's still a business. I mean,
Yep.
He only has so many scholarships,
Right.
and when he offered Cody, we were sitting in there. He went over the deal of, you want to be a national champion. He went through all the way back from this beginning, showed the amount of All-Americans that have come out of Edinboro, Penn State. Really, there's only, if you look at Division I wrestling, there's basically 10 Division I programs in this country that are producing national champs and All-Americans consistently
And-
every year. And Edinboro's one of them.
And he brings in to Edinboro, if I'm not mistaken, some of those schools that come to Edinboro
The
to
Iowa,
wrestle.
the Oklahoma States,
Yeah.
they go to Vegas. His schedule is brutal.
It
I
is.
mean, it really is.
Yeah.
It's a great schedule. And when he offered us a full ride, Cody didn't tell me he wanted to go there. We didn't commit that night. We went home, and I told him my views on the way home on it. But it had to be his choice, and he still didn't say nothing. And he talked with his mom, and I went somewhere, and I got a text because I'm going there. So
He does sound like a man of few words, doesn't he?
He
Kinda
is.
quiet.
He is. I do most of the talking. He's the quiet one. I'm the jabberjaws of the family. It drives him nuts at times.
Cody, do you know what you're getting into? Because when you get a full ride, then you got to be totally in.
It's pretty much like a job. You
Yeah,
gotta
exactly.
Put in the work,
Yeah.
but willing
It's
to,
that in school.
Oh.
There's no time for just about anything else.
willing to do that though. I have goals in college that I want to achieve.
What are they?
I want to be a national champ someday.
Wow.
So if you say you want to do that, you're gonna have to put in the work and every day and be focused. So
Yeah, that's a good program, and Coach Flynn and his assistant do a good job in getting their wrestlers to go from A to B to C to D by the time they're senior. Now, they want you to achieve, as I said, it's a national program. The school's 100% behind that program.
It is.
And like you said too, Coach, they go all over and they bring people. And I know when they bring in a good wrestling school to Edinboro every year, that place is packed.
It
when they
is.
get there.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's great. And you know what? Coach Flynn speaks highly of Kenny. One of my personal goals for Kenny is for him to be wrestling with Cody again someday at Edinboro. There's something to be said about looking up in the stands and seeing all your family and friends
Oh.
there.
And what's neat too is when colleges don't shy away from recruiting the local talent. 'Cause we have a lot of talent around here.
They do, but Flynn's very selective
Yeah.
on what he wants.
But he knows what he wants.
He knows what he wants. He wants workers. He wants
Mm-hmm.
guys, and they got Dakota Gear from Franklin, state champ. Cody's good
Yep.
friends with him.
That's right.
Jacob Oliver. He had 2 red shirts, and they were coming down and practicing with the. It's hard to find practice partners for Cody. It really is. So they had those guys been coming down once a week in the morning for our
Nice.
morning workout, pushing Cody, and Dakota takes him down. Cody doesn't get taken down very often, so it's nice to be in a room where he's getting pushed and, he needs to get taken down. You have to feel that to get better. And our coaching staff, I got some great guys.
Why don't you tell us who they are?
Sean Byham, Kurt Delatry, Pat Bradshaw had to take a year off, but he's still part of our program. He's
Is he
gonna be
still
doing a
throwing
lot of-
tires?
We'll be back. We'll be back. We'll be back into it. We'll be back into it. Bing Bong Elazon, but these, Kurt Delatry really helped. He wrestled for Warren. He wrestled Kenny every day, and
Nice.
Kenny was ready to be the top 3 guys this year. It just didn't happen. But I just seen it so many times that the work he puts in, the things he does, he's tenacious. Like Reynolds coaches told me he's like they call him a hedgehog. It's like putting a hedgehog in something, like in a garbage can.
He's all over you.
He's always a buzzsaw.
Yeah, those are the toughest kids to wrestle, actually.
Well, that's the challenge. I've had a lot of coaches that are friends of mine come up to me and said,
That's a hedgehog.
he's the toughest guy I've ever had to
Yeah,
coach.
yeah.
Because if you try to slow him down, he gets in a little bit of trouble. You know, if you try to keep him full throttle, it can get you in a little bit of trouble. So we got to find those middle grounds, and I need to become a better coach to help him reach his goals next year.
Yeah.
So when you're watching him wrestle, how do you take it? Do you just sit back and let him go, or are you
Cody now?
Yeah.
The,
Or are you like,
No, it's late now. Right now I've become very, very calm with Cody. It's more of more business-like. He's a grinder. He's just, we don't break position. And he doesn't want to see me all scatterbrained in the corner. I used to be really scatterbrained when he was young. I think it was all right. But as he's gotten older, he needs to see me calm and collected. And you know what? I like to watch him. So he's doing his thing out there. I just love it. I just tell him, be physical. I tell him all the time, if he wrestles to the best of his abilities and he lets it loose, I think he's the best guy in the
so
country.
you think with you coaching, you can actually sit back and watch him wrestle?
I have.
For me, that's hard to do, coaching like my son in any
Yeah.
sport. I just want to watch him as he got older instead of coach.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something that's
I don't
good
work
right
with
there.
him in the room much, though. Sean Byam drilled with him every day. Cody and I critique him a little bit, but you know what? He can tell you, Kenny, I treat the guys pretty equally in the room, from top to bottom, from our most average guy to our best guys. We have team goals. We haven't reached we just started where this program's going to be. I know that. We finished third in 2013 at PIAA championships. We took third in 2015. We were the best team.
See what you started, Cody?
So we're going to win it. I know we're going to win
Good.
it.
That's
We have
good.
guys that are having kids now. We need to get more generational guys in the program because that's how you beat a program like Reynolds. And that's what we're looking to do.
So you got a young program going? You've had a young little...
Kenny's sophomore class is huge. I got 5 really good 8th graders. We're going to make another run at it. But like I told some guys, Bald Eagle area, down that area, they're
Yeah.
dropping down the double A. The double A.
It's going to be tough.
It is. PA wrestling's the best in the country. At Division I Nationals this weekend, there's 53 guys competing at Division I Nationals in Cleveland this weekend that wrestle in the state of PA. The next closest state is Ohio with 30. Then it drops down to Illinois' 22. So Pennsylvania and Ohio is the best high
So-
school wrestling in the country.
So
bar none.
colleges come here to recruit, obviously.
They do. That's why Cale Sanderson went to Penn State. That's why he left Iowa
Yeah.
to go to Iowa State to go to Penn State. He's won it 6 out of the last 7 years. He gets the best PA guys, then he cherry picks guys throughout
Right.
the country. Bo Nickel from Texas, here and there. But I think his 10 starters, I think 7 of them are PA guys
Nice.
that have wrestled in the PIAA championship.
Real quick, when you start your high school season next year, how different it's going to be for you to walk in and not see your son somewhere?
You know what?
That's what it's going to hit you to, hey, my kid's in college now. He's not
Yeah,
here.
it's, and people ask me that, and when Cody wrestled in the state finals, I knew if he took care of business. My wife was last practice, this last. I just can't get caught up in that.
Senior
because
night.
I'm an emotional
all
guy. And senior night was, it's, through faith and wrestling and hard work, Cody and I have a bond that will never be broken. Never be broken. I've spent more
That's
time
great.
with him probably
So
than most
you're
dads
not
will in a
just
lifetime.
you're not just his dad. You're also his friend, and I
Yes.
mean that in a good sense. He can
We-
go
we-
to you and you
We
guys
have,
can
we
talk.
have become friends. I give him a space.
Sure.
I wanted him to, make some mistakes in high school. Try to talk him through it.
I think sometimes when you're young, like you guys are, and you're getting a little bit older and more mature, and when your dad or mom are on your case sometimes, as a youngster, and we've all gone through this, you're like, gee, why don't they leave me alone, get off my case? But when you don't have a parent that's on your case a little bit, then worry. Because when they're on your case a little bit and they're pushing you, that's because they love you. And you can't buy that. You can buy anything else in this world, but you can't buy that. And that's true love and through caring. And that's what it means. And, I remember I have 2 daughters, and now they're parents of their own, but when they were teenagers and they played sports, and I'd push them a little bit, and sometimes they get you know, they get upset and so forth. But as they got older, we become best friends, and they said, "Gee, Dad, I'm glad you pushed me because it helped me when I grew up." And that's a tribute. So just remember that, because someday you guys are going to be parents and have your own little ones running around, and you know, and you're going to actually almost be the same way in a sense, because you're going to want the best for your kids. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing you said. You must have outstanding parents yourself, Kenny.
Oh yeah.
He does. He does.
Yeah. So, questions? Tell us about
How
when
does
you
it
went down to
feel?
the States. Not on how was it feel. Tell us about some of your matches down there this year.
My first match, I wrestled a kid that was kind of dangerous to wrestle. He wanted to go for some big throws. Dominated the match, beat him 13-0.
I guess you did dominate.
My next match, I knew the kid was pretty good. I think I ended up winning 11-3 or something. And in the semis, I just came out fired up. I was like, there's no way I'm not going to just kick this kid's butt. I'm going to go out there and dominate. I ended up beating him 18-3. I teched him. And I wasn't really surprised by that. I knew I could do that. And then going into the finals, wrestling an opponent that I wrestled, that was going to be the 15th time wrestling him in 3 years.
Were you surprised that he was there?
I wasn't really surprised. I told my coaches and my dad that I thought he was gonna make the finals, but he had to earn his spot in the finals to wrestle me. He had a close match in the semis. He won overtime against another good wrestler from Southern Columbia, but it was just I wasn't really nervous. It was just I took it as a fun experience to go down there and just try to go for a second. I wasn't really thinking about that. I just wanted to wrestle, and I just really liked competing in the sport.
So when you got up there and you're on the top, and all the other ones are a little bit below you, and they give you that gold medal again, what was going through your mind?
It's just kind of a relief. It was just wow, I'm on top again. There's no other feeling like that. It's just words. It takes the words right out of your mouth to just look up on the jumbotron and see your face, and it's just a great experience.
It's a big jumbotron.
Oh,
I
yeah.
put a new one up there. It's huge.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a beautiful facility
It
to
is
have it,
phenomenal.
and so many people go, and you know, and PCN televises it, and we want to thank PCN guys, because we're going to go right now. We're going to show everybody again your state championship match. Thanks PCN, and enjoy Cody's state championship.
So we'll move on now to 182 pounds. And Cody Mulligan, the senior from Sagertown, looking to defend his title. He's 39-3 this year, 167-21 overall for his career. His opponent is Julian Goring from Fort LeBoeuf, 31-5 this season. The junior is 107-30 overall in his career. A rematch of the regional final a week ago, won by Mulligan. And Mulligan in the blue and gold singlet of Sagertown out of District 10 would become the first ever two-time champion from Crawford County and Sagertown High School.
Mulligan won that match last week 6-0 over Goring.
Goring was a fourth place finisher a year ago. He's also a Pennsylvania State Freestyle and Greco champion. And they'll go out of bounds. Chris Gramis is the official out of Lee-Heighton, Pennsylvania, District 11, a 20-year official. He's a special ed teacher. Mulligan is a four-time District 10 champion, just 3 losses on his record this year. One is to Trent Hidley, who we'll see later this evening in the AAA state final. That was in the final of the King of the Mountain tournament. And then he lost twice at the Powerade tournament, once to Tim Wallace from Albert Gallatin, who we'll see in the 182-pound final AAA tonight, and Darian Roberts from Wyoming Seminary. Little upper body tie-up, nothing coming of it. Now an outside single shot by Mulligan underneath Goring, trying to come to his feet to finish. Steps over, but Goring has a really tight whizzer on his left arm. trying to throw a leg in, maybe. Goring hips over, and they'll separate. So good defense by Goring after a deep shot attempt by Cody Mulligan.
Well, Goring's height advantage, I think, really helped him out there. He's got such long reach with his arms.
Goes to
Good defense. Tough for Mulligan to penetrate.
Defers choice to red. Red defense.
As I was watching the semifinals last night, in my notes, I wrote with Goring's win over Gage Garcia of Southern Columbia. He played defense for 6 minutes and 50 seconds and then got the winning takedown in overtime.
And never got called for stalling.
Right.
Much to the crowd's dismay.
So a quick escape and a takedown here for Mulligan, and they'll go out of bounds, so it is 3-0.
Okay, Green, you're down, please.
At least I thought it was 3-0.
Go ahead, top man.
Or just 2-0. Okay, they put one up on the scoreboard. They were confusing me there. Mulligan's got the 2-0 lead here over Goring. But yeah, that semifinal last night with Goring and Garcia everybody was watching that one. Escape here, and it's 2-1. Yeah, they have corrected the score. It was an escape and a takedown, so it is 3-1. Now it's 5-1 as Mulligan starts to pile it on.
Mulligan finally reached across and grabbed Goring's far foot to gain control. He's now up 5-1 with a minute left.
We had a quick look at the corner of the Sagerstown coaches. Jimmy Mulligan, Cody's dad, is his coach.
Back. Can't stay there. Come on, kid.
Jason Beers, the coach at Fort LaBeouf.
Rest control, knee fight up. Rest control.
Mulligan riding that arm bar tight on the left side, but Goring is able to get out. And Mulligan is bleeding, so we will have another blood stoppage. Comes with a 5-2 lead here for Cody Mulligan of Sagerstown. They've had 5 state champions, including Mulligan last year, and 35 medalists in school history. Mulligan will go to Edinburgh next year to wrestle, ranked 7th in the country by Intermat. They'll continue to clean up the mat. We're about ready to get back to action here. 44 seconds to go in the second period. It's a 5-2 lead for Cody Mulligan over Julian Goring. Yet another Goring and Mulligan matchup in the postseason. Mentioned that they wrestled in the regional final, but they have met previously in the postseason as well.
Mulligan won their first meeting 7-2 back at the end of February.
On your toes here, on your toes.
Back to the center, and 5-2 is the lead here.
On your toes.
Deep single by Mulligan. Short time to finish, though. Goring goes to that whizzer again. Mulligan tries to cut to a double. Little hip toss by Goring, and time will run out in period number 2. So we go to the third period. 3-point lead for Mulligan. Goring will go underneath.
Same stuff on bottom. Shorts in here, kid. Come on now.
And Mulligan is one of those wrestlers who's just a bread and butter kind of guy. No big flashy moves. Does 4 or 5 different moves, but does them so well with a lot of muscle behind him that he is just hard to beat.
Stay on the mat. Good, again, good work.
Mulligan was one of 3 wrestlers from Pennsylvania to win a Super 32 championship
Bottom, set, top, go ahead.
over the summer. Ryan Anderson was another. We'll see him tonight in the 138-pound final for Bethlehem Catholic.
Slide back up here. Come on. Build your base up. Yeah, now you're good. You're good. Up. Keep that hand out.
Now Mulligan just riding real tough. He's up on his toes, putting all his weight onto Goring,
Get him off your wrist.
making it quite difficult.
Hard. Now, you gotta go. You gotta go. You gotta go. You gotta get him off your wrist here. You gotta get him off that wrist and leg here. Come on. Come on, Joey. Let's go. You gotta get him off that wrist.
You can just see Goring just unable to do anything.
Now you're up. You're up. You're up.
Yeah, bellied out here in the third period.
Nothing.
Trying to go with a hazard tilt. Goring won't let him have it. And this is another one. Maybe should they have put him neutral instead of underneath? Stalling warning called on Goring.
Come on, out. Good. Pull that out. 40 seconds here. 40 seconds here. Come on, kid. Come on, Jules. Keep coming up. You gotta get him off that wrist. He's just gonna keep blocking it. You gotta get him off.
Mulligan completely content to just stay in this position. Make it look like I'm trying to turn him without really jeopardizing myself.
Keep coming up, kid. Keep coming up, kid. Come on, keep coming up.
You can see Goring just kind of like pounding his head on the mat out of frustration there, as it's been nearly 2 minutes of just punishment by Cody Mulligan on top.
Come on. 1 and 2. Come on.
Bottom man, go ahead. Red, you hold, please. Bottom set. Don't move, please. Top on. Okay.
Go.
Off the restart, Goring gets the escape to make it 5-3, and they'll just go out of bounds, and that will wrap things up. State title number 2 for Cody Mulligan of Sagertown. First ever 2-time champion for Sagertown High School. And he got off to a good start with an early takedown and just rode it from there, Jim.
Well, workmanlike fashion, he just slowly climbs the ladder, finally getting across and behind to get the takedown.
So he is a 2-time state champion for Sagerstown.
And your state champion from Sagertown, Cody Mulligan, a 2-time state champ and a 5-3 winner today. Congratulations, Cody Mulligan, and all of our 182-pound double-A place finishers.
So there's Mulligan, a multiple gold medal winner. We've had a lot of repeats as champions this afternoon inside the Giant Center. Your champion at 182 pounds. And congratulations to Cody and the rest of the award winners.